It's summertime and the living is beachy. Hi, I'm Susan Murphy with the Early Learning Coalition of North Florida. Welcome volunteers, educators, and parents. What a better time to play in the best sandbox in the world, our very own beaches, or fill up your sand tables at school and let's have some fun outside. Most children enjoy sand play throughout their early years and even up until their teen years. It's purposeful, it's self-directed, and they can make an enormous contribution to how they develop the child's understanding of math and scientific concepts. They're going to discover volume, density, the weight, the depth of the sand, what is heavy, what is light. Remember that you need to pose these questions gently and not intrusively while they are playing and they're enjoying. Child-directed activities empower the child to set challenges for themselves, and by experimenting with the sand in different ways, it enables them to deepen their own understanding of a wide range of concepts. This play brings satisfaction, builds their self-confidence because they're doing the experiments and they're the ones moving along and they are exploring. As you can see, my containers and bowls are not expensive or elaborate. Dollar stores, thrift stores are my gold mine. I brought 2 containers today, a large one and a small container. 2 bowls that are the same size, and a flat plate because it's always interesting to add a variance into any type of project that you're playing with. These are all holding containers with high sides, and then I introduced another variance with having a flat surface that will hold some sand, but obviously they'll discover it's not going to hold the same amount as this bucket will. So this purpose is so they can see large, small, and the same. And then the fun can begin with you gently suggesting some exploration. I brought a bucket of sand from the beach to school today, or here is a bucket that I filled while you're sitting on the beach. What container do you think I can put all of this sand in? Do you think I can put it in my large, my small, or my same, which are the medium? And this is the hypothesis of the STEAM activity that we're going to do today. The hypothesis is going to have 4 steps to it. The question, which we just shared, the prediction, which we hear from the child, the experimenting, which is their exploration, and the conclusion of what that child has figured out on their own, whether it's right or wrong. It was their journey to the conclusion. So the hypothesis of this is, where will this fit? So I'm going to let the child just pour these in. I'm not going to be critical. I'm not going to say, oh, did you make a right choice? Because really, by pouring the sand in a small container like this and watching the sand overflow, the child has learned on their own without any adult direction that this bucket will hold more than this small yellow container will. Let the child just drop the sand into as many containers as you want. Remember to ask the child while they're playing, why do you think it fits into this one? Why do you think it did not fit in there? Why do you think this one looks like it's the same amount? Can we make these equal? So we would fill the bowls up and we would just pat them down to see if they're equal. Using the words how, what if, why, or can the sand really leads in for discussion and further exploration for the child. These 2 bowls, let's just see, are they the same size? They look the same size. They look like they're holding the same amount. Let's pour them out, and we can pour them out in a damper area so the child can compare, yes, indeed, these are the same size. This child will continue to play and go their way as long as you keep cueing them, they're patient, and you don't take their exploration away from them, just gently guiding them. Recognize their time spent by telling the child, you've spent a lot of time experimenting with this sand and these containers. You're just like a scientist. What did you think about when you were experimenting? Tell me about your thoughts. And then that would be the child's conclusion. If the child is still showing an interest, propose the questions as we get into a math concept of how many yellow containers do you think that will fill up this large orange one? And I'm just going to go grab some shells that were on the beach, and if that child says there's 7, I'm going to quantitatively lay out 7 in a line so we can count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Let them figure out how many yellow containers it takes. Let's just say that child fills this up to the top and discovers that it did not take 7, it took 12. So we're going to put down 12. We're going to put down 5 more shells so they can see quantitatively. We confirmed that they said that they were going to think that 7 filled the bucket, but really what happened, 12 filled the bucket. So we're going to put those numbers 7 in the sand, and that we added 5 more in the sand, and we're going to count these together 1 right up to 12. Those are the additional shells. So if that child said 15, you would put 15 shells out, but if it only took 10 buckets, you would then take away. So they're going to be adding and subtracting along with their prediction. Remember, these containers become the algebraic equations soon in their educational life when they get older. You can just have some general fun with them and ask, if you could put anything in this large container, what would you fill it with? If you could put anything in this teeny tiny container, what would you fill it with? Would you eat a whole bucket of carrots? Would your dog eat a whole bucket of carrots? And just have some fun. Use your imagination. You've got sand, you have shells, you can go down to the shore with water. Start mixing up matter and liquid and imagination. What an opportunity to spend some time with your students, your children, and your grandchildren. Thanks so much for joining me today. I look forward to seeing you in a month. You take care.